So I thought today I would just do a quick video on an eBay score that I recently got. It actually just came in today. And it's kind of a bulk buy of meters. And they were bought as is. And reportedly, all of them turn on except for one, which when we get to that one, we may look at it a little bit. But I figured I'd just do a quick little go through and we'll see if they're reading voltage. I've got my power supply putting out putting out 19.90 volts. That may actually fluctuate a little bit. My power supply isn't the most reliable thing in the world. But I just want something where I can see if they're reading DC volts. Just a real basic function test to see if we need to look further in them or if they're pretty accurate and we could just maybe do some further function testing. So let's get started. First up is a Tektronix DMM914, 19.886885. That's a really good. I really like that. Now, this is a 4.5 digit meter. It's actually almost identical to the DMM870 that I already have. There's a few minor differences. There's no backlight on the 914, I believe. I think it's a little bit less accurate, but a really good meter. I like this. I used to have a 9112, which was a really good meter. I wish I would have kept it, but I actually got rid of that one. But Tektronix meters, you can't go wrong with Tektronix multimeters. So that one looks good. Next up, we have another Tektronix. This is a DMM353. This is actually not really what you would think of in your typical multimeter. This one specializes in resistance, LEDs, diodes, checking, battery voltage, and capacitance. It's a manual ranging meter, which we've already done a video on manual ranging meters, but this one's kind of a little oddball because it doesn't actually have your typical voltage measurement. So I'm not really sure if I like this or not, but we can actually dial our voltage down. Let's get down to about 9, and we'll just try the little battery tester on this one. This is definitely an odd little meter. Wow, is that it not being accurate? Or it may have something to do with, it may actually test the batteries a little bit different, so it may not want to read a power supply very well. Let's stick a set of probes on there and try 9 volts. I do believe that this one is a little low. I think we may actually mess with this meter a little bit more later. I'll get the manual for it so we can kind of read up on it and see what it actually does. But once again, it is Tektronix. You can't really go wrong with them. Okay, here we have a BK toolkit. I'm not positive if that's supposed to be a BK Precision. I don't think it is. I think B and K is just kind of a random little brand. On the back, it doesn't really tell you too much about it. I think this is actually the cheap meter out of the group, but we'll see what it does. Let's go ahead and get back up to our 19. I like 19.9, something about like that for doing quick little function tests, because it's going to give you your full range of reading basically on your meter. Come on, you. Really need a better power supply. Okay. That is not too bad. That is pretty much what I would expect from a meter like this. The BK Toolkit 2703B. Okay, here we have an X-Tech MultiPro 510. It's an auto-ranging multimeter. It looks like it's pretty decent with functionality. Let's give it a shot. On some voltage. X-Tech is actually owned by Fleer. I guess it depends on where you're at, how you say it. And I'm pretty big fan of their kind of larger meters. Some of the smaller ones, they get a little bit into the cheaper range, but they're larger meters for the most part. We may take a look inside this one, but I think that they are really good meters. Oh, look at this. Keysight calibration done in December of 2014. So that's not bad, a 4-year-old calibration. Here we have another Tektronix, the DMM157. I really like this meter. It also has a calibration sticker. I see an 11. I'm guessing that's 2011. So 7 years old on the calibration. That's a good bit. But we get a power on, 3.5 digit meter. This one I think is one of the ones I'm most excited about because it just looks like a really handy little meter to have. Voltage looks like it's a little bit low. We may go through this one and try to do a little bit of adjustment on that. But all in all, not a bad meter. I think the only thing that kind of throws me off on it is that it does have capacitance, but the capacitance is actually manual ranging, which is actually not a huge deal. It's just a little odd. This meter and the next one are the real reasons that I bought into this bulk lot. This is the X-Tech Mini MultiScope 2, and it's actually a portable oscilloscope. I can't remember all of the specifications on it right offhand, but this is the real winner in this one, as long as it works. So let's give it a shot. Overload. I don't really know how to use this meter. I definitely need to find the manual for it. It's reading really low on voltage. It's only reading 17.9418. It actually looks like it may be coming up some. So this one does look like it may need a little bit of tweaking. I'll go through the manual and see if maybe I'm doing something wrong here. But I really am looking forward to getting to work with this meter because I would love to have a little portable oscilloscope for going out in the field and working on stuff. It does have a little bit of damage in the screen, I see, but it doesn't look too bad. And there's not really anything we could do with that unless I find a new screen for it. But the X-Tech Mini MultiScope 2, this is going to be a fun little meter to play with. Okay, this is the last meter, the X-Tech Mini MultiScope, and this is the one that the seller said does not power on, and you can see that it doesn't. So we'll break into this one, see if we can figure out what's going on. It does look like the screen may actually be a little crooked or something in there. In fact, I can see a really small gap in it right here. So I wonder if somebody dropped it or maybe somebody took it apart and just couldn't put it back together correctly. But we'll crack this open and explore it a little bit and see what's going on. Okay, so one of the reasons it's not turning on is because there's no batteries. And we can spot a little bit of corrosion here on this connection. corrosion is not fun whenever you're working with multimeters. Okay, there's a couple of little connectors in there we have to get off. Yeah, a little bit.